Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Manifesting Magic with Nicole Miranda, Ms. Hawaii United USA 2025. I'm so excited to just have gotten back from my second week-long advanced Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation retreat. I just got back from San Diego late last night, and I have so many amazing insights to share about the people I've met, who I connected with, how incredible of a journey this was. It was even better the second time around. And I just want to share some additional benefits that I got out of meditating for basically a week straight. Besides the fact that I absolutely love San Diego, I went into this with no expectations because I don't like to go into any spiritual journey or retreat with expectations. I've learned that over the course of these last few years. And I'm always up for seeing what the universe has for me as far as connections, people, what have you. So I am very, very pleasantly surprised. I already, had this on my radar and I had a lot of fun at the last one, but I couldn't have possibly imagined that this event could have gone as good as it did. It just wildly exceeded any little ounce of expectation I may have had. I really had an opportunity to connect and network. I would say that was like my key theme and takeaway from this event, which was a lot different than the last one because my first event with them was, it was all brand new. It was a lot of new information. I felt inundated by the intake of info and all the lectures and the people, and just, it was a lot. And I also was an insomniac at the time, so I wasn't sleeping well, which I cured that insomnia at the last retreat. However, when I look back on those videos of me attending the last retreat, I complained every morning about being up at 6 in the morning, 3 in the morning for these meditations. Now, this time it was a totally different ballgame. I was jumping out of bed because I knew what I was getting myself into, the beauty, the bliss, the synchronicities, the connections. So I'm just gonna go into a little short deep dive, keep this as brief as possible, just to share some of the things that I got out of this event. One of them is, I don't know if you can tell, but my skin is radiant. And I say that it sounds egotistical, I guess, but my skin's never ever been this soft in my entire life. I noticed about 5 days into the retreat, like my skin was softer, and I started being like, oh, what is this? My skin feels as soft as a baby's bottom. And apparently that is an added benefit of meditation, amongst many other things. Your energy, the way you feel younger, look younger. I remember looking younger a little bit after the last retreat, but the softness of my skin when I went somewhere that's drier. California is obviously much drier than Hawaii. Usually that is not an experience I have when I travel to the mainland. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I've had quite a few friends that I ran into today that said I look like I'm glowing and my pores are lighter, and it's a sparkle that matches my outfit that goes with how I feel. So I'm really, really blessed and grateful for this experience. Besides my skin feeling much, much clearer, it was kind of cool since San Diego is really close to Oahu. And when I say really close, I mean closer than any other place we can go outside of another Hawaiian island. It's about a 5.5-hour flight. There happened to be a lot more people from Hawaii attending this event. So it was cool to be able to connect and network with some other local meditators. So now we have a larger walking meditation group here in Oahu. If you're watching this and you are on Oahu or any of the other islands, I lead our Dr. Joe Dispenza walking meditation group for any students who have attended his retreats before. I actually got to take over that group when I got back from the last retreat because the other leader was stepping down, and I'm really excited to continue that and bring some new energy to the group, and I've connected with a lot of really cool people because of that. So if you're here or if you're visiting on island, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with the crew. We meet the second Saturday of every month in a different location. We do a different walking meditation, and this next one will be January 10th. So I'm excited to kick off the new year with all the Dr. Joe tribe, and we'll probably do a little hangout session afterwards so we can spend a little bit more time together kicking off 2026. So what a cool way to end 2025, the year of the snake. It's a shedding. Speaking of shedding, I'm getting hot while I'm talking, so I am going to take this jacket off. But next year is the year of the horse. So it's much more action-oriented, clarity. This year was all about letting go and transformation. I can honestly say for myself personally, it's been a huge transformation year. And now I really know what I'm stepping into and embodying in 2026. And that's going to be a lot more speaking engagements, TED Talks, retreats, luxury retreats, more wellness days, more energy activation workshops. I'll be finishing up my book this year, or at the very least finishing up the book proposal and getting signed by a publishing company. And that's all going really well. Coming back to this retreat this week was really confirmation of all the deep inner work that I've done and who I am now and the type of person I'm becoming. And my role, I think, here on earth is to serve as an inspiration that empowers people to realize they can manifest any dream life that they want. We are the powerful creators of our reality. I will say that till I'm blue in the face. My friends have started to call me the quantum manifesting queen, because when I know what I want, I make things happen fast, and I want to teach all of you how to do that as well. So going into this retreat, having done my story of transformation on my Ms. Hawaii story and how I manifested that, I had a feeling there were going to be more people that I came in contact with because of it. And I did. I got to connect. One of the first ladies that came up to me during registration was like, "Oh my God, you're Miss Hawaii. I saw your story. It really inspired me." And it really touched my heart to hear this from so many people, because that's why I ran for this pageant. I could care less about all this makeup and glitz and glam and a title. It's being able to embody my divine feminine and share my message with the world through how holistic health and Eastern practices have helped transform my life completely, and how you can do it as well. So as I'm launching these new manifestation coaching and life coaching programs and workshops next year, I just really want to share everything that I've learned that's helped me, again, make things happen like the snap of a fingers. So divine connections all week. I'm going to be glancing at my notes over here. I have a dear friend, Lori, who I got connected with from the Dr. Joe group here on Oahu. We only met once or twice, real briefly in person, but we had a very close connection and a deep soul connection right away. She's also from New Jersey. I'm from New York. She had told me that I was going to get to connect with her two best friends in San Diego, Crystal and Yaz. I'm going to give a few people a shout out, although there are like hundreds of people I want to give a shout out to, but I got to keep this as brief as possible. So she introduced me virtually to these two women, and she hyped them up, right? She had them up here, and I'm thinking, how cool can these people really be, right? And I gotta say, she introduced us via text. We were instantly vibing. We all happened to have heart sunglasses with us, and we were sending pictures back and forth, and the girls were like, "Where have you been all our lives? Like, you're a part of our crew." And as soon as we met, it had felt like just instant bond for life, like soul family. Like, we spoke the same language of the soul, and it's been really, really beautiful to connect with those two ladies. And I will say that, Lori, if you're watching this, you undersold them. They are a zillion times cooler than I ever could have imagined. So it was really neat to go into this retreat, having known a few people from the last retreat I attended, plus knowing some of these other women, and then having some other, satellite connections that kind of gravitated to me because of the title and the story they saw. So it was cool to put a name to some faces, and just reconnect with a lot of like friends of friends and new soul family, and again, more people from Hawaii. I've even, since then, I put a message out to the Leaving the Monastery group for the Joe Dispenza Facebook group that he has us join when we leave the retreat. And I posted about the meditation walks that we do here on Oahu, and a few people had reached out from the Big Island. And that was neat, because then I was able to connect to those people. And I've always seen myself as somebody who is really a connector of amazing people. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe that now that I'm my happiest, most fulfilled self, I am consistently drawing amazing people into my life who I'm so, so grateful for. And because of that, I have this awesome network of people that I can connect in other places. So I've always been like that, setting people up with jobs and significant others and just all different kinds of things. And I'm glad that this is even transpiring to this like vast global network now, which is kind of crazy. So I connected 3 people on the Big Island. There was a man that I met on the first day of this retreat who's an older gentleman who's going through some stuff. He lives in a remote part of Canada. I'm not going to specify too much, but he seems like he was going through a challenging time. And, he said he was lonely. And I felt for him. And I told him that I would go online and ask around to see if there was anybody in that area. And through the Facebook group, I was able to connect him with one other person in his area. And then when he spoke to her about doing meditations together, she knew somebody else, and then they knew somebody else. And it became a thing where now they have like 4 or 5 of them who can go meditate together. And I don't get anything out of that other than the feeling good that somebody else feels good. And that's what Dr. Joe talks about. It's all about like giving your love in a not expecting anything back sort of way. I don't expect him or any of them to do anything for me. I believe the universe, first of all, will recycle energy, and what I give will come back to me, maybe not from the same person. And what I take maybe will be given in another way. And I think that's the beauty in how we're all deeply connected. So that's been a big theme for me, connection with people, and just how the whole quantum field is really connected, and we're all operating when we're on the same frequency, and you level up together as a collective consciousness. Oh my God, the remote coherence healings and the coherence healings we did in person just opened up my heart. So I'm going to talk about a couple other people real quick. I'm going to try to keep this one pretty short and sweet because I don't want to overwhelm or overload with info like I do a lot of times. And I just want to get something posted while I'm in this elevated state. I really do feel like my happiest, most radiant, aligned self. And I will say that I went into this retreat with I was in a little bit of a funk. I didn't have necessarily my best financial year last year, and that's not what it's all about. But when I really evaluated the numbers, I was like, come on, Nicole, you can do better. But this year for me has been all about spirituality and like deeply shedding the old me and stepping into this future version of myself. And I'm really proud of all the work that I've done, but I just got in my head a little bit before the retreat. So when I got out there, and I remember how much I loved San Diego because I haven't been there in like 5 years, it was really powerful. I had envisioned myself and my friend CJ getting back together because she was at the Denver retreat. That's where we met, and she lives in San Diego. So I imagined us reconnecting and going to see the seals before the retreat, and we did that 2 days before. And even her, she was in a bit of a down place. I'm not going to share too much of her info, but she was able to experience some profound healing during the retreat, and to see her from before and after, it was just such a beautiful, powerful, incredible transformation. And I only hope that my energy and frequency and the vibes that I'm putting off can even do an ounce of justice to the magic that transpires in that room, because it's beyond words. It's like this deep heart and soul source love that's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. So I feel like actual words can barely even do it justice, but I know from what I've heard, my aura is glowing, my skin is glowing, I feel like I'm glowing, I'm lit up. I only slept about 3 to 4 hours a night while I was there. And like I said, I was not complaining about getting up early. I was stoked to be first one on the dance floor, dancing on stage, waving to Dr. Joe. And then even the 5-hour pineal gland meditation, I was jumping out of bed, and I went through it so easily this time. It's just crazy how in less than 6 months, I think it's been 5 months since my last retreat, how much can change. And it's due to continued consistent dedication and practice. I've been practicing my meditations every day, and while I was slacking a little bit, I'll admit, right before this retreat, I am right back on it, amped up and ready to go. I'm even talking too much with my hands, but whatever, this is me. And one of the things I was consistently told at the retreat was that my energy, my infectious, positive vibes were bringing a lot of joy to others. So I'm grateful that I can be my truest, most authentic self in front of this group. I can be my weird, wonky self, and nobody's judging me. I get to be me, and I think I'm even more like admired and embraced for that, because it paints an example for other people to just be true to themselves. And I do all this dancing and quirkiness and my light up earrings like fully sober, and it's just the group I've been looking for my whole life. So with that being said, another soul family member, a soul bro, is my boy Josh. And I met him. He was in the same section as me where we were seated, and there's just been endless synchronicities between the two of us. We weren't really able to connect that much during the retreat because it just didn't work out. We were sitting near each other, but never right next to each other. But energetically, there was like I know you, I've met you before. And come to find out, I'm sure we had many past lives together as whatever, friends, brother, sister. I'm not even sure, but he truly feels like a big protective brother to me, like a guardian. I joke that he's like my guardian of the 5D because he's such a warm, kind, genuine soul that opens so many hearts at the retreat. And him amongst so many other people. I can't say it enough. There was a time I was like really jaded on men because of the people I was around, because of the people I was dating. And albeit I can admit that I was also a nervous wreck and I had a lot of tension and anxiety in my body, and I carried that with me, and that energy probably drew in the wrong types of attention. And now that I've cleared all of that out, I am surrounded by the most beautiful people inside and out, and these really just sincere, sweet, good-hearted men that it's shown me another archetype of a man that's out there for me one day, So it was really cool to be respected and met just incredible souls, men and women, the whole week. And it just was like every 2 steps I took, there was someone else awesome that I wanted to talk to. So anyways, back to the whole me and Josh thing. He kind of implied he had some podcast ideas. We got to record our first podcast together yesterday where, I shared my quantum manifestation techniques, how I became Ms. Hawaii, how I'm embodying my divine feminine. And funny enough, one of my intentions for this retreat was to come out of this with some connections for more exposure for, again, my book, for the speaking opportunities, for my retreats I'm hosting next year. And really my North Star being that I want to share my story with more people because I know the people I've encountered through this meditation group have already been inspired by my own transformation and how quickly like the Ms. Hawaii thing happened. And that's what I want to share because you can have a fast transformation when you're guided by the right people. And I hope to serve as a mentor to many. And so that's why I want the exposure to be really clear. It's in a past life or an older version of me, it was all about fame and attention. And don't get me wrong, I love being the center of attention, but it's much more about just being silly, having fun, showing people the magic that can transpire when you really align with your own center and your own heart and soul and what speaks to you. So, and now that I'm doing that, I'm finding all of my people, way more people than I ever, would have thought that I would. So fast forward to the end of the retreat, and I was supposed to fly back on Monday. The retreat ended on, was it Sunday or Saturday? Saturday. So I had 2 extra days, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough time. And I decided to extend my stay until Thursday night. So I just got in last night late. And it was just perfect, divine timing and alignment. Again, I had this rainbow soul sister, Rosie, who I met early on, the very first day in the retreat. I was like, you have an awesome outfit. She said, you have an awesome outfit. And we both agreed we thought more people were going to be dressed weird at this event, and they weren't. So we vibed on our quirky outfits. And then she was also in my section, and we saw each other a lot. And, she sent me a really sweet message saying like, hey, Nicole, I'd love to stay in touch. And I was like, actually, I know you live in San Diego. Why don't we hang out? I'm going to be here the next few days. And coincidentally, her awesome Harry Potter themed Airbnb was not booked, so that's connected to her house. So I was able to switch from the hotel over to her place, which then saved me money from the hotel and made her money. So it was like a win-win of abundance and connection for both of us. And I got to spend time with her and her family and, just dive a little deeper on who we are. And that was just super fun. Their house is really eclectic. The Harry Potter room, when I say theme, I don't say that lightly. I could drop some pictures in this later, but it was like a fully immersive, mystical experience. So it was just the fun. And the whole theme of this retreat was gnosis, which is like a spiritual knowing and know the unknown. So I was really diving into just being open-minded, meeting new people. I had some really, really, really deep meditations. I have started to master the breath that Dr. Joe talks about. And those techniques have helped me kind of go off into space and have like a mystical experience now where I kind of go out and I see stars and planets spinning. It's pretty trippy. And something else really cool that came out of that was one of the meditations, the Mystic Walk number 13, which is one of my favorites. And I always go really deep on this one. We did that one at night, the second to last day before the retreat ended. And I got really into it. I was like dancing and flowing and Kundalini energy, and just, I didn't care who saw me. I was just in it to win it. And for me, being someone who's very active and likes to move a lot, seated meditations are more challenging. The ones where I can walk around and like really move my body help me move the energy up and through. So I was twirling and dancing and running and skipping and all the things. And it was so cool because the very last day, this guy named Jim, who has MS, and he's in like I don't know what you call it, not a wheelchair, like a scooter, or a mobile seat. Apologize, Jim, and whoever's listening to this, I don't know the proper name, but anyway, he came up to me and was like, hey, you were the girl that was in that white like mystic coat and dancing all around and flailing your arms. And he was like, I just wanted to tell you that your joy was like exuding this light and energy that I could feel in my body. And it was the first time I felt like I could move and run with you, and I was vicariously moving with you. And it was just a really, really kind compliment. And I was glad that he got to experience that. And I was grateful that he came up to me to say that. And then he had also mentioned he saw my story of transformation and it was inspirational. And then funny enough, from there, he had invited me to join a meditation group that they have. And then the next day, another girlfriend of mine invited me to join a different meditation group, I thought. And then when I got added to the WhatsApp, it turned out Jim and her were both in the same group. And I was like, oh, I was meant to come join this group. And not only that, Robbie Blair, shout out to Robbie, who has some awesome love meditation music. He's been on repeat. He's been one of my Spotify Wrapped like top people for the last 6 months, ever since I got introduced to his music at my first Dr. Joe retreat in Denver in July. I've been listening to him morning, noon, and night, creating like my own walking meditations, dancing meditations. It's just so inspirational and empowering. And it turned out he was the leader of that group. He's the one who started it. And it was cool because I got to meet my music idol for the last 6 months. And it was just so many little divine synchronicities like that and connections of pure, just, it was meant to be, right? I met a lot of people who I also already kind of knew virtually who lived here in Hawaii, but were not, we just had never connected in person. And they were at the San Diego retreat. And we got to connect much more deeply there, including the last day. I got to hang out with someone I had just met, and we really got to deep dive with a group at lunch on our big takeaways from the retreat. And it was just so beautiful, being able to sit with these people and really talk about what felt change, who inspired us, what we learned. And we all agreed that it's like this utopia society where people really are doing the deep inner self-love work. And when you do that, like, the whole world would be not in conflict if everybody really took care of themselves. And, it just feels like a utopia society being, utopian society, whatever you want to call it, being in these like-minded kind of atmospheres. And something else funny that happened at that lunch, we had one open seat, and one of the other girls that was with us said, Lakshmi's joining us. And I go, do you know what Lakshmi means? And she's like, no. And I said, that's the goddess of money, abundance, luxury, wealth. And I was like, we drew abundance to us. And then Lakshmi came and joined us at lunch, which was just really cool because I know that because she's a goddess in the yoga world, or whatever you want to call it. And it was just super cool that one of the themes that we talked about in the retreat and the lectures was drawing abundance and drawing things into you. So that was incredible, beautiful, special close out to the week. And then, connecting with that whole meditation group where I got to meet a lot of great people. And then, of course, my homie Josh now, who I called him up and said, I know we didn't get to hang, but I know you live in San Diego. I actually extended my trip. I'm going to be staying at Rosie's. So if you have any time, let's get together. And then he helped to get me a sponsorship with a pickleball company. And we're working on a couple other things together. That's something else I've been stepping into, doing more kind of connections and networking through my title and different brands. So if you're listening and you have a brand that feels aligned to what I'm doing, I can't talk about all the ones I'm working with right now, but I have different swimsuit brands, spirituality companies, travel companies, a lot of things in the works. And that was things I wanted to manifest that came right to me at the retreats from some really, really cool people that I met. Even a girl who I had reached out to a while ago who has a lot of followers, that's an astrologer. She had asked for podcast guests, and I wrote to her about my story a while back. And then I came out of one of the meditations, and now months later, she reached out saying, hey, I've been thinking about you and your quantum manifestation story. Would you like to be on my podcast still? And I was like, yes, of course. And it's no coincidence that this happened while I'm, in that high frequency and in that field, and I'm drawing in the abundance of things and people and who I want to connect to. So that was super cool and exciting. And I have like 2 or 3 other podcasts lined up already. I had an amazing meeting with my book coach today, who also said I was glowing, and I feel it. I feel the love. I feel the purity, the stillness, this excited zest for life energy. And then there were some other connections, Dr. Joe, people that work for him that I got to connect with, one woman who works for the marketing team that picked my story of transformation to be one of the ones that they used. And then small world, she happens to know one of my best friends from Tampa, and they were like, wait, do you know Nicole? And just crazy how small the world is. And again, when you align with the right people, it's just this snowball of magic and beauty. And I'm still just in awe of the whole week. So another funny thing, while Josh and I were doing the photo shoot over at the Gaylord Pacific, this is an incident. He's not gonna like that I'm sharing this, but I have to because it's kind of funny. My poor little toe got a table fallen on it, and it was total accident, and Josh felt terrible, but pretty sure I may have broken my toe, which that is another unknown thing that's never happened to me before. And then from there, the next day, Josh was like, I can heal it. He does this incredible subtle body therapy and healing, and just through analyzing certain things through muscle testing, I don't even know how to explain it, he was able to heal my toe that I could barely walk on the next day. It was throbbing, purple, looked horrible. By the afternoon, after we did this breathing exercise of transmuting those feelings, it was 70% better. And then I was able to get a remote coherence healing from my group that I'm in, and it was 80% better. So I so believe in all of this energy work. I believe in infinite possibilities. I believe in tapping into, that reality where I didn't hurt my toe and it's fine. And it's already exponentially better. So it was super, super cool to get to spend time with someone that he's so in tune with the whole universe. You can tell he's done a lot of the deep work, and he's in tune with everybody, but in particular, him and I, we were not even speaking, and we were telepathically communicating, which is some idea that I've opened up to recently after listening to Telepathy Tapes podcast. It really changed my perspective on consciousness and what that looks like, and how people and animals and everything is really always in constant communication and flow with each other. So it was just funny. He would literally take the words out of my mouth before I could say them, because he heard me without verbally hearing me. Even after he healed my toe, I was thinking to myself, oh, I should ask him if I should still ice it the traditional way. And he comes out of his meditation and texts me and goes, hey, Nicole, I just got out of my meditation. Ice your toe. That was the message. And I'm like, dude, we're too connected in the 5D. It's tripping me out. And funny enough, I hung out with him yesterday, and we were walking down this, I don't know what you want to call it, a wharf. And I had this water bottle in my hands. I said, hey, if you see a trash can, let me know. And literally seconds later, we're walking. There's a restaurant here. And this guy walks out rolling a trash can and comes right in front of us and past me so I could throw it out. Talk about synchronicities and things happening fast. When you are close to source, when you meditate, when you go deep into your subconscious and let go of your identity, that is where you connect closer to God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, the creator. And things happen fast in the 3D, in this human experience. So that's what was happening. Even today, Josh and I are still oddly, it's almost freaking me out how much we're on the same frequency. We both happen to do the same exact meditation this morning. And of the hundreds of Dr. Joe meditations, like what are the odds, right? So that's been a really cool connection. I had so much fun recording my podcast with him yesterday, or his podcast with me, whatever you want to call it, and getting to go deeper. One of the other girls, it was her birthday. We all got to hang out and wear wigs and celebrate her birthday. It's just been this collective, beautiful energy and celebration of life, and this awe and wonder of what more is there. And it's like, a guy I met in the beginning of the retreat said to me, he's like, you think life's good now? It's just going to get so much better, Nicole. And I was like, what? How is that even possible? My life is so good right now. And then throughout the week, when I would lay down at the end of my meditations, I would have this glimmer of what he said, and I'd remember how bad it was for a while, years ago, how amazing it is now, and how it is just going to keep getting better. And I felt it in my heart. I really did. And I'm really been working on tuning into and opening up this center. And my heart is much more open. My skin is much more soft. What else? An energy I've been tuning into is I'm so lucky. And as soon as Josh told me to tune into that, people started texting me, hey, you're so lucky, you're in San Diego. It's just wild. And I am so lucky. I'm so lucky, happy, and grateful for this beautiful, magical life that I get to live and this new world that's coming. Is there anything else I want to share before I tap off over here? I think that's all I can say. I'm so grateful. Again, if you're watching this and you have a brand that you think aligns with me, I would love to help you represent. I am really great at sales. I did it for a long time, but when it's a product that I'm aligned with and someone or something I really believe in, I am the biggest hype woman, and I love being able to help grow businesses. So I'm open to collaborations, modeling deals, influencer, brand ambassador opportunities. Please reach out if you know anybody, if you, have a show on Gaia or a podcast or anything that you want to invite me to. I would be honored to be a part of it. So please reach out. I'm really just looking to share how quickly these transformative, deep soul level changes have happened for me, and how can I help other people facilitate that same type of transformation in their life. Pretty soon I'll be posting about my retreats that I'm hosting next year in 2026. I'm open to doing more remote coaching as well. I'm going to start off making some more offers going into that, because again, I'm here to help. I'm here to help the version of me that I was, that thought they were lost, stuck, depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, insomniac, sick, hungover, all the things that I used to be, that I never thought I would find this true alignment with my heart and soul, and being able to listen to my intuition and manifesting this dream life beyond my wildest dreams. So Dr. Joe and team, all the Dr. Joe tribe, everybody that's been a part of this journey. This is probably going to be one of the last episodes I do before the end of the year. So I just want to put this out here. Thank you so much for being part of my, 2025 journey. It's been wild, unexpected, everything from Bali and soul coaching to learning how to channel, meeting a soulmate, manifesting my dream home, manifesting Ms. Hawaii, getting to meet all these incredible, beautiful souls at the Dr. Joe retreat. And of course, Dr. Joe Dispenza himself, I couldn't be more grateful for. He is such an incredibly special man and a pure genius, the way he teaches and syncs all of this information. So I'm looking forward to continuing on this meditation journey, sharing more and more about it, seeing who else I can help, and then stepping into 2026, into the unknown, confidently, with clarity, with purpose, with direction. Just all the good things to come. So happy holidays, everybody. I love you all so much. Mahalo, much love, and aloha. And I'll see you again soon. Leave a comment if you have any feedback, if there's anything else you want to hear about in the next episodes. Please like, share, follow, send this to your friends and family if this helped, if this resonated with you. And if there's anything else, like I said, I'm always open to questions. You know where to reach me, whether it's on here or through my Instagram at Ms. Hawaii 2025, which is at MS Hawaii 2025 on Insta. And yeah, that's all I got for now. Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. It's all connected. Gnosis, baby. Know the unknown. That's all I got for now.